How big of a loss is that when you're expecting a deep threat like him? And
It's a loss simply because as we spread the football out, you're looking for a guy, and he went through a long process. I knew when he we got the doctor's report after the game over in Boise. There was multiple injuries in his knee, and it was going to be difficult for a skilled player to come back. He competed in the spring, but was okay. So you've got a significant playmaker that's no longer out there, but we want to wish CJ the best. He and I had a really good conversation in my office, and we're going to move forward with the guys that we use. But the biggest position group there as far as receivers that we need to access more is our tight ends. That group is a group that does have some ability. Everything from an experienced player like Josh Harshman, Nate Wyman is a guy, Jackson Hunter. We've got some weapons there, and we're just going to need to utilize those weapons at the tight end. And then certainly when you look at the receiver position, a guy like John O'Qualley's been here a long time. You usually hope their senior year is their best year, so that needs to happen with John. And Austin Conway. Austin's still a little bit, he's not quite 100% right now, but between Austin and Rocket and John O'Qualley, some of those guys.
At the running back position here a few weeks ago, obviously I have Holiday coming back.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that position? Are there any youngsters you feel that can or need to step up?
Trey Smith's going to. He played some at Louisville. And when we've been good, we've always had kind of a combination of a couple guys, particularly two. And in the last year, Nico had a good year, really good year, and X did some things that are good. What's going to happen is X got to change from being a change-up back to, a mainstay, and then we're going to need to supplement the carries and what we ask him to do with Trey, and then some of these. I think you got to take a look at running back is a position. Yeah. One of those freshmen is going to be in the mix. We would say. I think that's a position. I think that, another position that you have to look at is particularly a nickel position is going to be important for us. And so between those, I think it's probably the biggest one.
Did you ever think about going off the blueprint with such a young roster and going out and getting some JC guys?
That has not been that's not been our MO. We have a couple of junior college players on our team, but the makeup of when we even first started, we just chose to maybe take a longer approach with the high school players, and so I know a lot of schools do, and we just think for us to have long-term success, we're going to need to stay away from the heavy ebbs and flows. And I think typically, if you have a squad that is pretty heavily laden with junior college players, you're in a pretty tight cycle, 2 years on and off, and that just wasn't going to probably fit our MO. And I think too, for me, and the guys who have covered us would see if we make a significant departure to go over there, that's going to be out of step with how we're running our program. It's not what we're. It's probably been many years since I sat in this chair and go, okay, I'm optimistic, but there's questions we have.
Yeah.
And so, and I'll have a little bit more clarity during camp, when we talk, but quite frankly, I'm not going to know for sure. I'm going to get in the middle of the first quarter against Missouri, and if you picked up the phone, you'd probably say, okay, where are we at, Coach?
Yeah.
And I'd be able to tell you, it was a couple of years ago, you weren't out with us, but we opened up against Northern Illinois, and it was in the middle of the first quarter, and I turned to one of our staff members, because I don't know how good we're going to be this year, but we're better.
Yeah.
And we ended up being better. That's where I'd like Wyoming to be a program that, we come into these meetings, and every year you start looking at the publications. Wyoming's a team, they're going to be in the hunt, and because of you're building building blocks that don't go up and down like that, and that's a lot of people say they want to do that. That's hard to do, and I think staffs that choose not to do that. I think a lot of times you're looking at a head coach that just wants to get another job.
Yeah.
Spit and polish is kind of like taking a corporation, spitting it up, and so he can make it look good so he can get another job, or somebody trying to save your job. And that has been not what we're about at all. Now the challenge is we can say we want to be consistent. No, we got to do
Like
it.
they're kind of lying in the weeds.
Yeah, I do.
I take it you have a lot of confidence in these young guys, and specifically Sean Chambers leading this
Yeah,
team.
you know, I've seen what Sean can do and how our team responds, and also some of the things that Tyler can do. You know, a guy like Logan Wilson, who I believe is really an excellent football player, but there's got to be guys around them. But there have been times I could probably come into this meeting and go, we're probably not going to be very good. I wouldn't say that, but I think that we have the potential to be a really good football team, and it's potential. Now it's got to turn into producing. But there's some stuff there. There's some guys there that's got some good makeup.